Hello, everybody. Before we begin this episode of the podcast, I need to make an address to the listeners of the podcast, and most importantly, to my co-hosts Alex and Gavin. So, on the last podcast, I was repeatedly bullied and slandered by Alex and Gavin as they accused me of being not only in the band 10 years, but of making the band 10 years up. Now, unfortunately, 10 years is a real band, and I categorically deny all the allegations made against me by Alex and Gavin about 10 years. If they want to say my opinion on a certain song is bad, that is fine. That is their opinion. But this is slanderous. I am going to go to my lawyer, Alan Dershowitz. He is going to.
He's going to discuss it in the next episode of the Dersh Pod.
Mr. Dersh, please come on the Butt Rock number ones. We need your takes.
I need to know what
he's not going to have much time once he's on the Supreme Court.
Yes. No. But let me finish my statement. Now, unfortunately, 10 Years is a real band. They seem to be mainly popular in the Midwest, maybe some parts of the South, but clearly not Texas, and definitely not Quahog, Rhode Island. They were not very popular. But 10 Years is real. They're a very real band, and that is all I have to say. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of this podcast.
That was manipulated media.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody.
It's gross to be lied to so directly and openly. I don't know if I can stand for this.
I think it's irresponsible to be promoting conspiracy theories such as that on this podcast, and I'm going to request that all of that be edited out. 10 Years is not a real band, and Matty wrote the song.
Matty, you say that's true, but I look behind you in your Zoom and I see that you have a bunch of big masters that are labeled 10 years, all masters. I recorded
Is that a
Matty
golden
Monroe.
record?
Y'all were on Zoom too? What the fuck?
No, I just
No. You see what I'm dealing with, Rachel. You see the lies I'm dealing with. They're lying about how we're recording the podcast to slander me. There is no
they have
gold.
A Zoom to exchange like cut her off.
There is no masters. There's no gold records. There are 2 tiny baby crosses in this room. This is my sister's room in the basement of my house. So there's like swimming stuff everywhere. Otherwise, there are no 10 years masters. If you want to come to my house, my address is 1035. You can come to my house and you can look around my room in the basement here and find there is no evidence that I created the band 10 years. Of course, I will bleep that out when I edit it.
Matty's talking himself on the podcast.
Anyways, let's welcome to the Butt Rock number ones, everybody. Of course, I'm your host, Matty, at Moravian Prince on Twitter. Of course, my lovely trio of boys are here, Gavin and Alex.
Hello.
Yo.
And of course, we have on the podcast side of things for the guests, we have our good boy, DJ Horse Jeans Jackson. Welcome to the Butt Rock number ones.
Hello. Wonderful to be here under less than ideal circumstances with this. But I'm here to defend some of these songs, unfortunately, because this list has a lot of personal. I have a lot of history with most of these songs, and I'm very excited to dig into that trauma.
Yes. And then on the non-podcast side of things, we have a very special guest. This is someone who, again, her podcast is one of my favorite podcasts ever made. She's a wonderful Twitter presence, and also she is the mom of one of my favorite cats on the internet. It's Rachel Millman, everybody.
Hi. Hello. I'm very glad the cats came by yelling at each other the second you introduced me. Because I do have 2, but Bucket is the star right now.
Actually, Rachel, this was a ploy to get Bucket on the podcast. Can you get Bucket on the mic, and then you can just
It's the first time like you're going to be able to record the static between something's ears, but absolutely. My man is dumb.
Oh god. But for real, Rachel, again, Wrestlesplania is one of my favorite podcasts ever made.
Thank you very much.
I'm so happy to have you on, and I'm
Yeah,
once again very sorry to have you on in these circumstances.
This is you're talking to the person who like helped come up with like mouth stuff or butt stuff as a question. So like, don't be sorry. And also, I take forever to put episodes out because I accidentally crunched out all of the audio, and I have to like spend hours untangling it. But the Daniel Makabe interview is coming soon. Just to tease that because it's fun.
Yes. But
anyway, I'm excited to do this because I mean, I know this is Indie Heads, ergo I'm supposed to hate everything that was on this, but like I'm probably going to be a poptimist for like a lot of this.
We try to engage pretty honestly with this stuff. Like we were enjoying Stained songs week 1. Like very quickly,
okay.
We try to see if we can sort out what were the ones that are actually good and what are the ones that maybe haven't held up as well. And we tend to argue. We're very rarely lukewarm on anything in this miniseries.
Also,
sure.
very rarely do we ever like unanimously hate or love something. I think we've maybe had like one agreement, and it's been that like System of a Down was a good band.
Oh hell yeah, they're great. I was in the Adirondacks with my friend Alex a couple of months ago, and like just sitting in a river, and apropos of nothing, after some silence, he went, I've been getting back into System of a Down, and just danced through the entire song in the water, holding his GoPro, and then threw it in the air at the end. System of a Down fucking goes off.
Hell yeah.
I do think there is a chance that we could all agree on one of these songs absolutely sucking, but I will wait.
I think I might know what you mean.
Yeah.
I'm going to be excited if it's the same one.
Oh boy. But let's get into the list proper. So on April 22nd, 2006, the number 1 modern rock track in America was from our contentious enemies. I'm going to say that for now.
I'm willing to declare them enemies of the podcast, even though I will defend at least one of their songs on this episode. It's fair to give them the title.
Yes, of course, Danny California, which was number 1 for 14 weeks, being the number 1 song of 2006. But off top, I should say that for the most part on the Butt Rock number 1s, we have a no pedophile rule. We talk about some pretty like disgusting people on here. Wes Mud for one. The Stain guy is pretty bad.
Thank you, Wes Mud, for your masterpiece, Blurry.
And fuck you for everything else.
I don't know. I love the About a Girl cover. I don't know about y'all.
Oh yeah, you're right. My
bad. But Red Hot Chili Peppers again. They are the only exception to our no pedophiles policy.
Is it because Flea is so cool?
Flea is cool. I am
if you look at any picture of Flea, if you look at any picture of Flea, he looks like he wakes up in the morning and the first thing he thinks about is eating ass. You just see it on his face and the way he smiles. It's just
Flea is cool. Like, he's not cool in the way that like any of us think about cool. He's like cool and just like the dude knows. Like, unfortunately, like it's sort of actually I don't think Anthony Kiedis actually knows who he is. Flea knows who he is, which is like that he's kind of dumb. And like
I think that's fair.
He's got himbo energy for sure.
He's like I love how much he showed up on Coco the Gorilla's Instagram.
Oh yeah! Oh shit! I remember that.
He was on Coco's Instagram like nonstop.
God.
Yeah.
Flea, yeah.
Flea is, he's like, he's what if, just what if, like, if you look at a bass and you just put your hand to your chin and say, what if, just, that's Flea.
I do love that every single time Flea has appeared in media, like outside of being in the Red Hot Chili Peppers, he's doing somehow like the most Flea thing possible.
Yes.
Like he played a feral child on the Wild Thornberries, I think.
Yes.
Oh,
I'm not looking at a wiki. This is off the top of my head. And he is one of the nihilists in The Big Lebowski.
Oh, God. Flea contains multitudes. He was shouting out Zola Jesus on Twitter like yesterday.
Oh my God.
Flea is nuanced.
Anyway, let's get to Danny, California, though. So the thing with Red Hot Chili Peppers is that they're such a big band. They're more of a brand than a band at this point. That it's one of those few bands where like you kind of do have to separate the art from the artist, which I generally do not subscribe to that ideology. I think it's stupid. I think it's a cheap cop out. But considering the slew of wonderful citizens that we're talking about on this podcast, unfortunately, we have to make exceptions. And Red Hot Chili Peppers is possibly the biggest band of the 2000s. So to not talk about Red Hot Chili Peppers in the context of the modern rock charts is literally impossible because basically the charts, they just kind of sit and wait until the Red Hot Chili Peppers come back. They just go, we'll make what about Incubus, guys? Or we got some Audio Slave,
Oh yeah,
the Raconteurs could hit, I guess.
We'll get there. But this song, I regret to report that this song unfortunately kind of goes.
You have been concealing this take from us all day.
I agree with you. This song bangs. Like this song is like I'm sure other people who are older than me or smarter than me approached this sooner as like the Red Hot Chili Peppers kept releasing singles. But this song was the exact moment where like for me it was like, oh, they have one song, but that song is kind of good. Like when they released Stadium Arcadium, I was like, oh, they do one thing, but they fucking love doing that thing. And like I feel like considering this is all about like butt rock, this is not the first time the Red Hot Chili Peppers have been brought up on here, and there's no way I'm the first person to bring up John Daly. And
you might be.
I think
you might be for John Daly. You're definitely the first.
Crazy. Because, God, what's the name of his? I can't. Abracalifornia or whatever it is. John Daly Chili Peppers is the autofill for him on Abracadabra, California. Like his impression of the Red Hot Chili Peppers song is so goddamn good. I sing it like at least once a week. Like like the sounds that like bounce through your head like a bouncing ball when there's no other thoughts in there. Like one of them is Bing a Bong Burbank, like 100%, and the other one is Rocky Romero saying Rapongi 3K 3K 3K. Like
oh yeah, that's a good one.
It's just like those two just like bouncing around my head. But like Danny California is a Tom Petty ripoff that I really like.
Shit, you're right. Shit.
I
did not consider that.
No, that's definitely true.
My take on this song. Okay, go ahead.
No, Jackson, you can.
Be our guest. Be our guest.
I think this song is one of the ones. It has not dropped nearly as far as other songs we'll get to on this list, but this is one that I don't hate this, but I have much less time for Anthony Kiedis just in general at this phase in my life, and I think that his you're tired. It's just complete fucking nonsense on every single song, and like sometimes it can be really good nonsense. I'm a fan of bands that can make I don't know what he's talking about, but it's provocative. It gets the people going. Lyricism. And like some of my favorite bands, like Interpol's music, like they're sometimes like saying something, but most of the time they're just saying a bunch of fucking nonsense. But it sounds really, really, really good. And unfortunately, the Red Hot Chili Peppers usually do not sound really like. I like Flea's bass playing, but it really feels like it just varies from track to track, whether it'll be like, oh, that's cool, or what the fuck is Flea doing? Like, it really kind of is all over the place. He's like very unique in the way he plays, but it's like, have you ever heard that the Steely Dan anecdote from the session musician who was like, they told us not to slap the bass, but then when they weren't looking, I turned my guitar into the corner of the room, and I was slapping that thing. And that's just Flea is like, you tell him to not do something weird with the bass, and he's like, I'm gonna do something weird with the bass. You can't stop me.
Oh God, this joke is probably gonna make no sense, but I can't get it out of my head. I feel like the Red Hot Chili Peppers, they're the Cockatoo Twins for guys named Bryce.
Oh my God, no, that's exactly fucking it.
Bro, what the fuck is Anthony Kiedis saying? Exactly.
Like in the Storks Baby Factory, Anthony Kiedis was accidentally given like a horny dog brain instead of a human one. This man is not fluent in his first language.
Oh, yeah.
The Red Hot Chili Peppers are like a weird fascination with me because they're obviously just like so dumb, and Anthony Kiedis is actually like a pretty morally bereft person. But like, I watched their Carpool Karaoke because I love to deal myself psychic damage all the time. And like, the thing I quickly figured out from Carpool Karaoke is that like everyone else in the band knows like how people conceive of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. No, they're kind of just like making the same song every time to pay for the third house. And like Flea is very self-aware the whole time about like, yeah, these songs make no fucking sense and we love California. And Anthony Kiedis is the only one who's like, excuse me, I'm making art. What the fuck are you talking about? Which
God.
is why I go back to saying Flea is cool. And I respect Flea because he knows he's making dumb shit. He knows. Like, Flea gets his like creative joys from doing his book club on Instagram instead, or like sincerely enjoying art. Like Flea, this is like he very much I think has like a day job approach to being in this band.
A little bit, yeah. I think he gets his. I mean, much like Frusciante, I think he gets his creative kicks elsewhere. Yeah. Well, unlike like where Flea can pretty much like go into that sellout mode at all times and like be able to psychologically be okay. Frusciante, like every couple years, he's like, I can't fucking do this, man. What the fuck is this guy talking about? What the fuck is this guy talking about? And why is this so popular? Why are we playing in fucking stadiums? Like, this man is talking about Papa was a coppa, Mama was a hippie, and we're selling out 40,000 seat stadiums. What is happening here?
We are playing Madison Square Garden again.
I really do.
I really like. Oh, sorry, you go.
I was just saying that they totally tracked with me that like it seems like every single member of the Red Hot Chili Peppers is existing in their own like self-contained bubble, and they're like it's like they make their music like how Flea makes his music with Atoms for Peace, where he just like sends Tom just like bass lines, and then Tom York's like, I'm gonna just play with these and chop them up and do whatever. Like it feels like each one of them is like sending in their part like in email to each other, and like and they put it together. And sometimes you have like a dog shit song, but every once in a while you make like a Frankenstein's monster where like Frusciante does something kind of cool with the guitar, and like Flea does something interesting, and Kiedis doesn't annoy you enough that you kind of can, like turn your brain off.
Like the postal service of guys being dudes.
Oh wow! Exactly.
Frat boy postal service.
Oh God.
Kiedis has definitely cried to this song.
Oh yeah, while fucking a teenager. Like,
damn.
Parody. Do not sue.
He definitely didn't admit to it in his book.
Yeah, it's allegedly, but it's alleged by himself. So it's kind of.
Well, did you guys know that apparently, and I think this is definitely some sort of like Ryan Murphy saying all of the American Horror Story seasons are connected like after the fact. Apparently, Danny California is the character in all of their songs.
What?
Oh, okay. So I was on the Wikipedia page.
Hell yeah! Also learned it there.
And it says that well, for one, for the second thing, I just want to read a full Wikipedia quote, but for the first one, apparently this song is about okay. Kiedis has commented that the character of Danny is a composite of all the women with whom he has had relationships.
Teenagers.
I'm sure this includes a teenager. Yes. Number 2, quote, the working title of this song was Wu-Tang because Smith's drums sounded similar to those on the Wu-Tang Clan's debut album, Enter the Wu-Tang 36 Chambers 8, though they ended up a bit more like Lynyrd Skynyrd's Sweet Home Alabama, citation needed.
That is very, in a weird, strange way, they are kind of at the exact midpoint between Wu-Tang and Lynyrd Skynyrd. Like, that's where this song exists.
Yeah, 100%.
I think they're definitely closer to Lynyrd Skynyrd.
Yeah.
But no, I mean that is true. You know, Kiedis does his shitty rapping thing a lot. Although obviously
Kiedis commented, when this funky groove came up, it struck me as a perfect place to actually tell a story. It sort of revealed itself to me that it's been the same character, just kind of developing. At first, I didn't realize that I was writing about the same girl. I believe this, and I also believe that New York City is a character itself, as is LA and sometimes Chicago. I did also like do myself the favor of clicking on their drummer's Wikipedia. And first of all, Chad's middle name is Gaylord, which fucking rules. Hell yeah.
Hell yes.
Hell yeah. And like there is a subheader in his personal life that just says Will Ferrell resemblance. Like,
oh my god, yeah, because they did that like drum off thing where Will Ferrell like.
Well, they look exactly alike.
Yeah, they look identical.
Like there's no getting around it at this point. And I'm also going to read off his associated acts for you guys because it's fun. Red Hot Chili Peppers, Chicken Foot, Chad Smith Bombastic Meat Bats, The Process, Glenn Hughes, Joe Satriani, Ozzy Osbourne, and I would like a pause so we can pay attention to this last one, Dick Van Dyke.
What?
You literally made like half of those up. You made half of those
up.
I
was
believe women.
I was reading wrong as they were reading. Like, I can't believe that this is happening. I can't believe you've done this.
Okay, we need to move on.
I just want to say, I think I found a picture of Chad Smith and Dick Van Dyke together, and this picture is labeled Malibu Chili Cook-Off. So
that rules.
Man. From the Malibu Times.
I just love the idea of including an artist that you're friends with in your associated artist. It's like, and also I'm buddies with that guy.
Well, no, they recorded a children's album together.
Oh,
that's sweet.
Yeah, like weirdly very charming.
Oh, hell yeah.
Before we move on, I do want to mention that I saw the Chili Peppers with my dad when I was 15. Nice. Would you like to hear who the opening acts were?
Yes, please.
So, sort of, it was for the By the Way tour, whatever album that was.
By the Way.
Cool. I got it right. It was Queens of the Stone Age, which is like normal, expected. But then it was also the Mars Volta.
Interesting.
Beto.
I'm kind of surprised that Queens of the Stone Age were opening for the Chili Peppers at this stage of their career, because this was like after like their big hits, like No One Knows.
Well, I think what it was is that Dave Grohl got them the booking.
Dave Grohl,
make them money. Right? Like, that makes sense to me.
I can't remember. Do we have to talk about Dave Grohl on this episode?
No, not today.
No, we don't. Not today.
And we should not go on the same tangent we've gone on for the last 4 episodes.
We can't break the streak.
I would love to hear a summation of the tangent on Dave Grohl.
Well, okay.
Gavin, take it away.
Basically, the number one thing
is he like tall Flea? Is that the breakdown?
No.
Well,
no. Dave Grohl really likes eating pussy.
Yeah, you're right.
It's his number one personality trait. And apparently the song All My Life by the Foo Fighters is about this.
That's so cool.
He says, "Hey, don't let it go to waste. I love it, but I hate the taste."
What?
Rachel, please do not encourage Dave Grohl.
I think he needs to develop some chill like Flea.
Exactly. Notoriously chill RHCP guys.
Flea is like obviously very chill. I don't know. I would hang out with Flea. I feel like you could have good conversations about like modern sculpture with Flea. Like he's why I think it was I can't remember which one. The one single of theirs, it sounds like all their other fucking singles, where they're interacting with a bunch of like modern art installations. Apparently that was all Flea like loving that artist.
I think it's Can't Stop.
Yeah, it's Can't Stop.
Yes, it was Can't Stop. Yeah.
Which is a garbage song. It
is a great music video though, I have to admit.
They really leaned on the music video for that one.
Flea was in an episode of American Dad last year, by the way. Just, let's bring Seth into this as well. We gotta hit all of our topics because there's gonna be some things we can't avoid coming up here soon.
When do we get Seth MacFarlane on the podcast?
Whenever he makes Ted 3 and puts me in it.
Bring him on to promote Cosmos.
Oh yeah. I think he was involved in the reboot.
Yeah.
He's in that like Star Trek ripoff show or whatever.
He's doing like sincere sci-fi stuff now. It's very strange pivot.
Can I?
He put out an album like a month ago.
I think he's always been like a sincere sci-fi fan.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Weird.
I just gotta imagine it's just like starving away writing Family Guy, being like, okay, I just gotta write like 4 more seasons of this, and maybe Fox will let me do my Star Trek show. Just maybe they'll let me do it.
We're almost 30 minutes in, and we are still on Red Hot Chili Peppers Day in California.
We've been talking about the Red Hot Chili Peppers for almost 20 minutes.
They're coming up again.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Okay. There's going to be a whole other discussion on them.
Okay, let's move on. Let's move on to the song that dethroned Danny California. It's the Raconteurs with Steady As She Goes, which is number 1 for 1 week on July 29, 2006, or the week of July 29, 2006. This song also kind of goes, honestly.
This song sucks.
The song is I can't believe there was a period of my life that I enjoyed this song.
Yeah,
this
me
song,
too.
This only exists to be played in bowling alleys. Like this is bowling alley music. Like it's just it's the most whatever song, Like I think they said that about Seven Nation Army too, but it's just so like whatever.
I listened to this song and like I remember this song came out at the time that I was like into the White Stripes, and so I liked this song just as like, oh, it's kind of more White Stripes but like a little different, whatever. And then I go back to this, I re-listened to some White Stripes to make sure that like Jack White hasn't always just been the worst, and I was like, no, the White Stripes are still, some of the early White Stripes is still really good, but
yeah,
the Raconteur stuff is bad. It is like the music itself is like so like janky and like boring at the same time. Like it's not good. I did not like this song.
I think there's going to be a through line on this from the last one, which is that this is like Jack White really wants to be Tom Petty.
Yeah.
And this is him like really, really trying to be Tom Petty. And it's just like, I don't hate this song, but it is aggressively whatever to me.
It doesn't do very much. Like narratively, all this song, narratively, this song does nothing but say that heteronormativity exists and then calls it a day, with just like the same like vague women hating vibes as many other Jack White songs. It's not good to me. Jack White has unleashed too much of his musical splooge across the earth, and I wish he would slow down.
We gotta jam it back in there.
Like him at the Cubs game after hearing that, which means you did a good job. You know the photo I'm talking about of him just like scowling.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah,
I think the clear rankings of Jack White cultural contributions is number 1, his performance in the movie Walk Hard. And then number 2 is the early albums, and then the rest of the albums, and then that one solo album he did that was terrible, and then the Raconteur, like all the way down.
He has other side project bands too.
It was nice of him to endorse Bernie.
I don't hate him as a person.
Why are y'all hating on Jack White so much? I mean, I don't care for his music always, but he seems like a nice guy. He's, you know, like, even if Third Man is kind of a novelty thing. I mean, I went because like one of the last things that I did before like lockdowns happened, like I went to a New Japan show in Nashville and I went to Third Man Records and I was like, wow, this place is kind of cool. Even if literally the record store sucked itself, because it's like, I don't want to buy any of these Live at Third Man sessions and I don't want to buy anything from this fucking label. But still, you know, Jack White seems like a nice fella. I don't have the hate in my heart for him.
Not that nice.
Yeah, I've heard he's like a huge asshole.
I heard he's like,
but like considering on the tier of some of the bands that we're talking about, that's like closer to the nicer tier.
Yeah, that's true. Relatively, Jack White is one of the least monstrous people on this list.
I suppose.
Jesus, yeah. Oh God.
He looks too much like Johnny Depp for me to ever fully trust him, you know? He's just too much of a vampire man.
He looks like he chokes women without consent.
Yeah.
That is the energy he gives off.
See, the problem with Jack White is he wants to be a vampire man, but he won't fucking commit. He's not like, if he wants me to care about him, he's got to be Danzig level committed to being a vampire. And he's not willing to take that jump. He's too busy trying to like get you to care about like the revival of like 60s like girl group pop music. I'm like, no, bro, just go put some fangs in or something. You know, that's you. That's your future, man. So that's what I need out of Jack White in 2020. You can go Skiba and pretend to be vampire in like Vampire Weekend. That would also work.
Plea to Jack White.
Yes. Gavin's plea to Jack White. Please become a vampire.
Mr. Jack White, please come on the podcast and address our concerns.
Yes.
Step into the sun if you dare.
Yeah, Jack White, prove you're not a vampire challenge. Eat an entire clove of garlic and send the video to us.
That would actually be really cool. I hope he grills it first.
Yes.
I hope he just goes for it raw.
Prepare for it however you want. We'll accept it any way you prefer. But put it in blood even. You know, that's what vampires like.
All right, let's move on, because this song
Speaking of vampires,
whatever, and doesn't. Oh, Yes, speaking of
vampires,
yeah.
Our next song is AFI's Miss Murder, which went number 1 on August 5th, 2006, and was the reigning number 1 for 5 weeks. This song fucking slaps. It fucking goes. One of my favorite songs of my childhood.
I was really confused by this on the list because I assumed it had gone number 1 in 2004. Because AFI is such a powerfully 2004 band to me.
Yeah.
This is like the AFI song I knew. Like I didn't have much experience with them outside of this, and I've softened on my take that I was yelled at in the chat for not liking this song. Like I don't hate this. Definitely isn't one of the worst songs on the list by a long stretch, but I didn't like it as much as I remember liking it in middle school. But
that's fair, and nostalgia is a hell of a drug.
It is. It's true.
But I will say this is that like looking back now and looking at like what blew up from like the pop punk parts of like my teenage years and my childhood and what didn't is that they were definitely like AFI were definitely like the beta version of My Chemical Romance and what My Chemical Romance became. And like
that's pretty
they had like if they had come to like popularity like a couple years later, they would have fully had like a BTS army level dedication to them, or at the very least, like a bunch of Coheed and Cambria freaks, which I ran afoul of recently accidentally.
Oh no, that's tragic.
They're out there.
Whatever. But like they had all the makings of it, and it's like they definitely do still have like extremely dedicated fans, as do My Chemical Romance, but like they are sort of like this precursor to it, which I think is super interesting. And like this is obviously their like fuck it, let's go sell out song, and it's not bad for a fuck it, let's go sell out song.
Absolutely. My big issue with this song, I will say, is that I realize now as I've matured in my older age, I actually do enjoy pop punk. The thing I don't enjoy about this song is the parts of it that sound like a Muse song. That's really the chugga chugga guitars that are on this that just give me a big like Knights of Sidonia energy. Like I'm just not into that sound at all anymore.
Yeah, I would say one of the things I'm most embarrassed about in my childhood is, or like my younger years, is like being unironically really into Muse. Which, like, I think that's a lot of people.
Yeah, it happens to many of us.
They have a couple good songs.
Oh, I'm not like completely out on Muse, but yeah.
I think Muse is really funny as like an entity. Like I'm glad that Muse exists, at least for the meme.
I'll that's fair.
This song's good. I like it, and that's that's all I can ask for with this list. I should mention, me and Alex have been talking. We were both looking forward to this list because freaking Matty was hyping it up, gassing it up, saying this is gonna be a good one, folks. And me and Alex both like slowly like started shaking hands on this list is actually bad. Yeah. So I'm glad to have a good song this early on. But
we're about to take a turn for the worse.
Yes, my God, are we?
Yes.
Yeah. we need to get into it because this is what the real thing that is I think the sour apple in this list is the 2 appearances from 3 Days Grace.
Which honestly,
I have a hot take.
I don't want to go. I don't want to go there yet. I'm trying.
Oh, you're still.
We have to finish.
You have to let go.
I know.
I have a hot take. The 2 3 Days Grace songs on this list are not the worst song on here.
I'm interested to hear what your worst is. Then I
will tell you.
Me too.
When it comes up, because it's. I have one that I'm like, this is dog shit. Because like the thing is that with all but one of these songs, I either am straight up like, oh, I like them, or I can find something redeemable about them. Like we both, none of us really like the Raconteurs song, but as someone mentioned, if I hear it in a bowling alley, I will not get it in the gutter. Like there's something
a bowling aid.
And yes. Like when I think about 3 Days Grace and like that sort of like extreme chugga chugga butt rock, like there is a sort of like Korn has fully come back around where it's like, no, Korn was always good and we were just snobs.
Yes. Yes. And like, absolutely.
There's like a really, really dumb part of my brain that is like, hell yeah, I am pissed off and I became a bad guy. And I'm just like, when I listen to this now, I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna go smash some old IKEA furniture and think about my feelings. Is it good? No. Have I spent a better part of the last 2 years going, time to turn my brain off? Yeah, because I like pro wrestling now. So like there is a part of this that like completely taps into me like very animalistically of like, yeah, I'm the bad dude. So that's what I get out of this song.
That is the animal that you have become.
Exactly.
Okay. If it's not already clear, the song we were talking about is Animal I Have Become by 3 Days Grace, which went number 1 on September 9th, 2006, and was number 1 for 2 weeks. Before my last one on AF I Miss Murder, it's a good song. The video is iconic. That squeeb hairdo, love it so much. And AFI is a weird band because they're simultaneously like a Tony Hawk's Pro Skater soundtrack core band, but then also made that within like 5 years. I think is, you know, the diversity, the talents. It's amazing.
The range, as the kids say.
The range, which 3 Days Grace does not have. This song is. It is. Once again, I must apologize for hyping up this list. I was blinded by the good songs that are on here, and I forgot that the bad songs were truly some of the worst songs ever made. I apologize once again.
I fucking hate this shit.
Yes.
There were only 2 3 Days Grace songs on this list, but all day I have been convinced there were 3 because that is just how much of an impact they had on me. how intolerable it was to listen to these songs. I hate the fart tone butt rock riffs and just the vocalist's constipated butt rock yelling voice. This is pure unadulterated ass rock.
Yeah, that's why I kind of like it, which is bad. Like, I know I'm wrong. I'm very aware that I'm like completely incorrect to be like fucking shit, yeah. But like, there is a part of me that's like, okay, whatever, because it's like, it's probably for the best that you don't really hear anything like this on the radio anymore. And if you do, it's from like a confirmed MAGA chud. But there was like a brief space where you heard this sort of like dumb bullshit and rolled your eyes and then like only liked it when you were drunk, where you didn't have to worry about like the political implications of like, did that guy get Beaufort again on Twitter defending Trump or whatever the fuck Trapped is up to now? So like, it's again super weird that like this is when they got 2 number 1s because they are so much like a 2003 band to me.
Well, that is when we last talked about let's see, I think either Just Like You.
It was
I think they had 2.
Yeah, the 3 Days Grace self-titled is a 2003 album, and this is their follow-up to that 3 years later.
I had no idea that they were such a like charting juggernaut.
Oh yeah, like this is one of the, you know, the number of bands that I definitely bought multiple songs on off of iTunes when I got my iTunes gift cards every couple months.
I loved this band in middle school. I don't know how.
I was the same thing. Like this band is the one that has fallen off a cliff the most for me, because I definitely like, these weren't my like I think I Hate Everything About You is a much better song than any of these 4 songs. You know, listen
but
to that song.
It's somehow the most embarrassing.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, 100%.
Unquestionably.
I also like we've talked about it. They've talked about it before on the Butt Rock's #1 series, like about how Butt Rock is like music for guys who like don't want to have feelings that aren't anger, to like get in touch with their emotions, and sometimes that can be like actually good, like Linkin Park, where he's managing to like smuggle in genuinely vulnerable songwriting into these like kind of butt rock packages, but then sometimes it's like, as Gavin calls it, I hate my stepdad music, like just pure unadulterated like spite, but like not like. I remembered these riffs being sick, and this album sounds so bad. Like it's not even like we've talked about like how the aesthetics of butt rock like haven't always aged well, but like just this album sounds like dog shit. Like it's mixed badly. The guitar sound like lame and flat, and it makes how like obnoxiously aggressive he is that much more annoying, because there's like you're getting no like hit from the music at all.
I loathe every single production choice here.
I get what you're saying about how like it's not only like everything about it is bad, but like it is poorly made. It's like the Queen movie of just like there's so much about it that it's bad, but it is a genuinely like poorly made movie. Like everything about it is poorly constructed at the core.
Speaking of movies, can I talk about the music video for this song briefly?
One of our worst.
This video, I was fucking dying watching this video like an hour ago before we recorded the podcast. I was fucking dying. I only watched like 3 or 4 music videos because at this point we're reaching the era where music videos, it's either like we're starting to get to that point where it's like, okay, music videos kind of suck now. Like they're not giving a lot of money to bands. There's a few there, again, but there's some on here, like there's one video on here that it's like it very clearly they put a lot of money in this video and it's still a very bad video, but I at least appreciate the fact that there was a time where record labels were like, yeah, here's like $2 million, like go to China and shoot this video, I guess. I don't know, but this video is so bad. I have a couple of notes. First off, Adam Gont, I think his name is Adam Gontier, more like Adam Gonorrhea.
Hey,
got him.
Chad
Wow.
Gaylord Smith.
I got his ass. Anyways, he's like lying in bed and like his cryptid is like shaking him while he's sleeping, and it looks like the Bye Bye Man. It's god awful. It's so fucking funny.
I never saw the Bye Bye Man. Did you see the Bye Bye Man?
I did not, but I'm just assuming this is what he looks like. I just have to assume. There's also this stupid effect where like he's by himself and it's like a twister where it's like going really fast and like it's like the little fade thing. It's fucking hilarious. It's like the Adam Gontier twister. It's amazing. I love that he puts on like a shirt with just a grenade on it.
Like, yeah.
I'm watching it without sound right now.
Oh boy.
Oh,
it's so good.
Oh, this slaps.
I forgot those minutes. I love that it's a widescreen video or whatever, but instead of the black like letterbox, it's red, like blood red, you know?
Which rules. Yeah, he absolutely has some sort of like anime cryptid of himself on top of himself.
Yes, it's amazing. You know, you want to know, here's how you show that you're a damaged individual. Besides putting on the Joker makeup, of course,
you
just like go, you just the mirror, you just go in the street and you just start bumping into people, and you know you go like, you just start bumping into people.
You have to wear a peacoat.
Exactly. There's two kinds of ways to bump it. There is the cool way in the Verve video where you're wearing like a leather jacket. That's the cool way. Or you wear the peacoat coat and you're looking down the entire time, then you're bumping into people. But yeah, no. There's also the tunnel shot in that where he's like staring into like the vague mirror, and it's just the fucking cryptid. God, Adam got. How did he not get into movies?
I just got to the grenade shirt, and it's really good.
Oh god. And then there's the ending of the video where he walks into the club and he's bumping all the people. People are like dropping their drinks and shit. And it goes up to a girl and it's like, oh, is this the girl? Is this the girl that's gonna save him? You know, that's gonna tame him from the animal he's become. And then he looks up and with her like very revealing dress, and you know, she also has the cryptid face where it's like, oh god, like, oh fuck. It's like, so when he looks like a cryptid, that's fine. I can manage it because that's the animal I become. But when a woman is also that, can't do that. I gotta get out of here, dude. It's too bad.
Oh, this is like a prequel to Requiem for a Dream. Okay, I get it now.
Bringing up all the Jared Leto stuff on a song he's not involved with.
I hate him very deeply, so.
Oh boy.
Okay. I just want to say I have something very important that I just unfortunately learned about Adam Gontier, lead singer of 3 Days Grace, which is that he left the band in 2013, and in 2015 he started working with Stained guitarist Mike Mushak on a supergroup called Saint Asonia. It says supergroup on his Wikipedia page. I'm sure he wrote that.
Oh man,
hell yeah!
Oh god,
that's
the
awesome.
crossover we need.
All right,
I have. This song, if you don't like TMI stories, I'm gonna ask you to fast forward. For a little bit. But,
Gavin, I can't fast forward.
Yeah, just plug your ears and go la la la. But this song reminds me of young teenage feelings of shame, because this is a teenage Jo story. So I'm gonna this is your last warning. I'm not sure if anyone remembers this, but in magazines, and like not like bad magazines, but like normal magazines in like 2006, 2007, I was like maybe 12, 13. So I was a changing lad. And in magazines, there were these advertisements for these services where it would show like you can text number like 204 to this number and you can get this cool like Grim Reaper holding a pair of dice wallpaper for your phone. And it would charge you like $40 a month or whatever. But they always had bikini girls in those, and I did not own a computer, and I had to explore my body. So what I would do is I would get my magazine with my text wallpaper thing, and I would grab the old magnifying glass so I could see it better. And I would do what needed to be done. But they always in these ads, they advertised ringtones you could download. So when I was done and put the old Sherlock Holmes away, the first thing above the picture would be "Animal I Have Become." No. Just the words "Animal I Have Become," and I was like, "Oh no, I am a monster now." So, I never listened to this song before today, and it's bad, and I would rather jerk off.
Okay, I think that's
for opening up to us.
That's the most sincere I've ever gotten.
It felt beautiful. Thank you.
You're all welcome for that.
I think that is a perfect jumping off point to move on to the next song.
Oh yes.
When You Were Young by The Killers.
Which is a good song. This song is fucking good.
Well,
I'm also here to defend this song. I really love. Yes. I am an admitted Killers fan, and this is not like one of my favorite of their super big hits. Like I've never disliked this song, but it's never been like, there are like many songs on Sam's Town alone that I think are like better than this song. But going back to I have no fucking idea what this song means, but it gets the people going. Like there's something about the absolute fucking nonsense lyrics of this that still manage to, like, you can just turn your brain off and like it is musically good enough. Like the fucking bridge where he starts talking about the devil's water, every single time I'm like, I have no idea what this means, what this is supposed to mean, but the synth sounds so good. I'm like, sure, why not? You know,
well, like what it means is Brandon Flowers is like a cosplay enthusiast for desperately wanting to be Bruce Springsteen.
Oh, absolutely.
That's what all of the Killer songs mean.
They're just like, the Gaslight anthem, but people like them for some reason. I don't.
That's a really good point.
I don't understand it. I don't like this song.
I don't know, this song, like, I definitely have fond associations with this song because this album has, in my opinion, the best Killer song, which is "Read My Mind."
Oh hell yeah!
So,
that's
like,
a great,
great
take.
Far and away, I don't think it's a hot take. I just think it's a really good song. But like, I really like this song. Like, it's big and stupid in ways that, like, Animal I Have Become are, like, I know I just said it was big and stupid. Like, this is like a sweeping sort of big and stupid in, like, the way a musical about the Midwest is. In that, like, it's not an amazing song, but, like, they are very good at identifying, like, the parts of stadium rock that we do all like and we do all enjoy. And, like, I don't know, like, there are way worse songs in this list, y'all. Like, so much worse. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, I stand by it. I defend this one.
It's in my top 3 for songs on this week, definitely.
I'm even just not even beyond. This is beyond the list. This is just like one of the greatest pop songs ever made to me. This is like listening to this list. It helps that, of course, it's sandwiched between very bad songs. But even then, this song is like transcendent to me. Like listening to this blasting down the Indiana and Ohio highways while this song plays is literally transcendent. The way that the bridge cuts right back to the final chorus, that, you know, the guitar fades in, and just Brandon Farr's like committed performance. And Jackson, you do hit on a point of like, I have no idea what the fuck he's talking about, but I feel it in my soul. I don't know exactly what he's talking about, but my heart knows what he's talking about. If you hate this song, you don't have a soul. I'm sorry, Gavin, you don't have a soul.
I don't hate it. It's just it is the Gaslight anthem.
It's a Gaslight anthem. Nobody knows who the fucking Gaslight
That's
anthem
because
is
you're
anymore.
a loser, Matty. Gosh. Go to 2004 like the rest of us. Gosh.
Actually, I want to play it before. I'm going to read a statement from our dear pal Jeremiah about When You Were Young. Sadly, he could not record a clip, but he did give me a statement to read. So from Jeremiah: "When You Were Young is the greatest song of the 2000s, and it's not particularly close. And the only reason it would be close is because of Mr. Brightside. But still, When You're Young persists, and When You Are Young conquers. And still, I weep." And I absolutely agree.
I think "Read My Mind" is like better, but it wasn't as big of a hit, so I see his argument.
I cannot listen to Mr. Brightside anymore because of my 4 years of college, just having it like beamed into my brain like a propaganda machine. So like it lost the shine on it compared to some of the other, like, but this one I've always enjoyed this one. I mean, like, a lot of my experience to songs on this list was like Guitar Hero and Rock Band, and I was glad to see in earlier episodes people were bringing up like Naruto AMVs. Like, that was where I got into 3 Days Grace. It was just like Sasuke versus Naruto, like AMV bullshit. But like I really like When You're Young still, and I think that Sam's Town continues to fuck in general. And
Sam's Town is good in like desperate spite of Brandon Flowers being incredibly corny.
Yeah,
that is true. Yeah, it's always that battle going on.
See, that's why I can't get. I think like he's got the band members to level himself in. I think he has that perfect level between like being very, very confident in himself and not being that confident in himself. Just that perfect level where I think it makes great music. Where compared to like Imploding the Mirage, which personally I wasn't that into. I think he's a little too confident in himself on that album. When it's like, dude, you're still doing the Bruce Springsteen worship. Like, rein it in a little bit. Have a little bit of self-doubt here, okay? Like,
I mean,
come on.
Seems to be like a huge interpersonal nightmare.
Yes,
it wouldn't be surprising.
But also you have to compare that also to like the scene he was in at the time, like reading like Meet Me in the Bathroom and like being like, oh yeah, Brandon Flowers, yeah, he seems like one of the nicer ones in that book, like probably one of the nicest people in that book, just like a good Mormon boy who doesn't do cocaine or anything,
He doesn't have an entire chapter in the book like James Murphy does, where just a list of people call him a cunt. Like,
James Murphy, I think you're a nerd, and I would like to engage you in hand-to-hand combat. Just throwing that out there once more. If you're listening,
I respect James Murphy because he did a really good grift with the Madison Square Garden show.
Oh my god!
Absolutely. One of the greatest grifts of all time.
I respect the grift so much. Like, I'm sorry, like you have to give it up for somebody who just, what a piece of shit. God bless him.
It rules.
I think he's like the platonic piece of shit in music, where it's like he's just like a shitty guy, but it doesn't like affect the music that much. He's not shitty in a criminal way. He's not shitty in a way where it's like, oh, he's canceled. It's just like, oh, this guy's just like an asshole. It's just nice to just have like an asshole in music. It's not for any like super awful reasons. It's just like, oh wow, this guy's just kind of a cunt. But hey, all my friends still kind of slaps.
You know he's never gonna do anything atrocious. He's just a dick.
No, he's too pussy to do something atrocious.
The specific quote in the book is, even some of his best friends would say that he's a cunt. Like, it's something that everyone sort of agrees with.
Oh god.
I didn't know that you were quoting directly. I just thought you were just like, okay, I'm gonna try it and just say the C word.
I don't have the book out in front of me. That's just stuck with me a long time in my life.
Oh god. By the way, Meet Me in the Bathroom, wonderful book.
Just calling James Murphy a cunt is so funny.
It's satisfying. It's the right. I don't like using that word in most circumstances, and it's the right word for him. He's not a dick. He's not a douchebag.
He's a cunt.
It's correct.
That rules.
Anyways, we should move on to the next song.
Can I just establish that I do not hate this song? Matty implied that I hate this song. Not true. I just think it's very much not one of the best Killers songs for me, although I do really like it within the context of the album. Listening to it on its own, I just don't enjoy it very much.
I respect that.
All right.
I know we need to move on, but like one last little mini story. So like right before shit went down in like December, I was supposed to do Mr. Brightside on karaoke but I was too drunk and I missed my cue and I didn't get to sing Mr. Brightside. And now karaoke is canceled literally forever, so I'll never get to
sing it now.
Go back. No. I would rather not, Gavin. I would rather not.
I'm pressing F for karaoke. Although I was in Prospect Park the other day and some guy was carrying a like speaker through with a mic and was like, do you want to pay $2 to sing karaoke in the park? And I was like, this is an entrepreneur.
Hell yeah.
This is a king right here.
All
right. Next song.
Let's move on to next
Welcome
song.
To the Black Parade.
Welcome to the Black Parade.
Hell yeah.
Easily.
My Chemical Romance, November 4th, 2006, number 1 for 7 weeks. I think the reason why I hyped up this list is that we have When You Were Young, which is one of the best songs of the 2000s, immediately followed by another one of the best songs of the 2000s in Welcome to the Black Parade.
So
these are two transcendent songs.
This song is so good. It's so good. And like My Chemical Romance is kind of like corn for me in that I was like embarrassed to admit it for a few years, but like I'm fully back on board now. Like they're good. They're good. I like them. And the silence tells me that other people
absolutely.
I have the opposite sort of journey, which is just that I like never had an MCR phase, and it wasn't like against them, but I just like for whatever reason didn't get like a lot of exposure to them until I was an adult and I dated someone who was like really 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 into My Chemical Romance.
Oh
and
yeah, they exist.
Immediately on discovering of this song was like this slaps, and not that I was like surprised that they're good, but like it's this specific kind of song in the wrong hands is like complete fucking disaster. Like no offense, but I actively hate all Panic at the Disco, like including early Panic at the Disco, and like that it's just like this like pure concentrated like theater kid energy that just is like too much to handle and like makes me want to like curl up into a ball and die. But like I think Welcome to the Black Parade is the perfect example of like theater kid energy being used for good and not evil. And I think this song it slaps. Like the build up with the drums and like the vocal thing that he does like when he starts yelling is so good. And I don't really have like a relationship with this song, and I was like getting chills listening to it. I was like, what the damn hell, what the hell is going on here? This song is good. Fucking slaps.
This album is where he learned actual like vocal technique, because he didn't really have it for the first two. Like he was just destroying his voice the whole time, and this is the one where he sat down with a vocal coach and said, okay, I'm fucking my voice up. And the vocal coach was like, quit drinking, and he was like, not doing that right now, give me a couple more years. And then the vocal coach taught him technique, and you can hear it in the whole album, and specifically in this song.
Yeah.
Like, oh, yeah. Like so a part of the reason like all of this specific playlist was the one where I was like, yes, give me this one, is because I worked at an FYE for a year and a half while all of these songs were popular.
that is the venue for this music.
And like I have a wonderful story that I think about with this album a lot. And again, it's kind of got come all the way back around, which is when this album came out, like it was a huge monster hit. Like we had like the entire store was like decked out in like My Chemical Romance shit. And this is before FYEs became like a Funko Pop receptacle, which like the three left now are. And it was like a CD and DVD store, because this is still when we did physical media, which again we have all come back around on as good. Which is that like somebody was like buying the album and I was ringing them out and I was like, oh, I heard this is actually like a pretty good album. Like I heard it's like a really solid concept album. And then it became immediately apparent that the guy I was ringing out was like buying it for his niece or something. And he scoffed at me and went, have you heard of Jethro Tull or Hell Queen? Yeah. And I like wanted to die. I was so embarrassed. It was so mean. And he was just like going after the enthusiastic little dipshit working at the FYE. And like I felt so much internal shame, and he made me feel really bad. And I was like, and like, you know, when somebody says something like that to you in like a college radio station snob way, you're like, I know who Freddie Mercury is, and I listened to Death Cab for Cutie, and I've heard of Polar Bear Club, and I'm indie. And now like looping back all the way around, fuck that guy, this is a really good concept album. Like
it's great. Yeah, we did a pod on this like 2 years ago, I think. It's a great it's still a great record. It's still a great record. I mean, this and Three Cheers, they're both great records in my opinion.
Oh my god, but like I to agree with the theater kid point like entirely. It's like you have to, they already had that in them with like the eyeliner and shit and like the emo boom coinciding, and then they just really really funneled all of that theater kid energy into like a perfect thing. And like I still listen to this album pretty regularly. I fell off it for a few years. And then I put it back on a couple months ago and I was like, this is still really, really good. Like Teenagers is a really good song.
Hell yes.
Yeah. To add on to the theater kid bullshit, may I remind everybody, Gerard Way literally watched 9/11 happen on his way to work and was like, shit, I gotta start a band. Like that's why we have My Chemical Romance. If
Gerard Way was logged onto Twitter for a few years, and he and I became friends on there. And like, you would think that a guy like that, who got like cover of Rolling Stone famous, to this day there are still people getting new My Chemical Romance tattoos. I had tickets to go see them for their reunion tour.
Heartbreaking.
Like, you would think a guy who got that famous would be a fucking asshole, and I have something incredibly pleasant to report, which is that he is a genuinely like nice, shy, like sweet, humble person. Like because he put out a solo album in like 2014, I think, and like I went, and yeah, it's a good album. Thank you. And I went, and he like, I was like kind of nervous and was like, okay, I don't know what to expect, but like I definitely was like, this is a very weird experience for me, because like I really enjoyed this person in high school, and I never thought I would meet them, let alone be in this scenario. And he came out and was like, I'm so sorry I don't have extra snacks. Do you want some of like the tray that they gave us here? I can go get you waters. I don't drink, but like put all of the drinks that you want on my tab. And I was like, you don't have to be this nice. No one has to be that nice. And he's just like, I like really like defend him at all circumstances, because he's just a genuinely like sweet, chill person. And I don't know, like getting famous seems to rot your brain, and it doesn't appear to have rotted his. So good for him.
Yeah. It's I'm still Danger Days. I'll have to go back to it, because I feel like maybe it holds up a little better. But yeah, like Gerard Way just seems like a nice guy. Yeah. The Umbrella Academy is a good fucking show. First season a little shaky, but I love the new season of that show. Like, it's full of really fun ideas. Into it.
My dad loves the Umbrella Academy, which is really charming.
The new season basically revolves around the assassination of JFK, and I'm like, it's amazing. I'm in. This is great. But yeah, this song it's a fucking slapper. It's like, people go, people kind of joke and kid like, oh, it's the modern day Bohemian Rhapsody, but it's like, well, it's better than Bohemian Rhapsody for one. But yeah,
you're correct. Like that guy was not only an asshole to you, Rachel, but he was also wrong, because My Chemical Romance is better than Queen. Like, I don't like Queen very much, and
I like Queen a lot. I have no feelings on Jethro Tull. Well, no, I'm sorry. He didn't say Jethro Tull. He didn't just say Jethro Tull and Queen. He also said ELO, and like, ELO is really good, but like they make pop songs for people, for like guys who like Rush but want to explore something new. And like, I love ELO. I would love to be friends with Jeff. Like, ELO makes sublime pop music, but like, the only difference between ELO and My Chemical Romance is the decades they're in. Like, I not the only difference, but you get what I'm saying, of like, they are extremely similar types of bands. Like, it was just like, have you heard of the Beatles? And it's like, no, I fucking haven't. My head is in my asshole. Like,
yes.
So I think, do we all agree that the song is good?
Yes.
Gavin, no.
Gavin.
I've been noticing you be silent the whole time.
Look, when I said I don't know if I like any song on this list, I really meant it. Like, I completely understand why this song is so good to so many people, but it's just like, it's so whatever to my brain. Like, I'm just like,
I have a non-confrontational question.
Yeah.
What do you like?
Oh boy.
Well, I hate answering this question because it's the same two bands every episode. But right now I'm listening. No, worse. I've been listening to Dude Ranch by Blink-182 and
great album.
Yes, and A Million Fish live shows.
Oh, I see your problem.
Gavin has been jam band killed.
I've listened to, I think, like every rendition of Harry Hood, I think, which is a beautiful song.
I've identified your problem, and I don't like being rude to people who host me. So
pretty much everyone has.
I'll say that Dude Ranch is really good.
Yes, it's just. I don't know. Like I don't like half-committed vampires, as I've said before, and this feels
They're fully committed.
This is like 3/4 committal vampire. Like this is the you gotta be a vampire, not just like a Dracula in the 50s. You gotta be.
He was a full-blown alcoholic. He was full vampire.
Unless that alcohol had blood in it, I'm not buying it. But look, I get it. I really fucking get it. And I a lot of it is because I have no nostalgic attachment to this album or band. I was firmly in even worse territory by this point. I was bumping like no effects, okay? Like you guys are more correct.
Shows. I went to Aquabat shows. Like I have no level of correctness. I'm a corny asshole.
Well, the Aquabats are good.
They're very good. Thank you.
Yes. But it's just so.
They're my first exposure to Kaiju Big Battle.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Aquabats are, but this like it builds up. It's basically a very nice build up to the world's longest anime theme song.
How is that bad?
Because I just does. It's
that description you gave sounds phenomenal.
It's just
Gavin.
not for me. And
okay.
I get it.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, you're kind of hoisting your petard here.
Yeah, I'll hoist freaking Animali by Incubus next.
Oh boy, yeah. Let's get to it. Let's get to it.
This is a Fugazi song.
The last thing I wanted to say about Welcome to the Black Parade, though, is just like going back to the thing about Gerard Way being like a very nice, sweet boy, is that like I think the reason why like My Chemical Romance and another band that a much conflict causing band, Linkin Park, I think the thing that unites them both is that they're both very good at like doing this really sincere, like over the top emotional thing and having it not feel entirely, I mean, like we use the word corny a lot, but I think there's something like genuine to like that whole like could you be the protector of the broken and the damned would be like so cheesy and bad if almost anyone had done it. But when he says it, you're like, I kind of believe that he actually like really believes in this shit and really believes in like what the sincerity of it really works on me in the same way that like the sincerity of like Linkin Park really works on me. And so I think that's why this song is good.
I'll buy that. I
buy that.
Yeah, I also don't really fuck with Linkin Park, so that I agree.
Okay.
So let's talk about how good Incubus is.
Oh,
Alex.
I love the band Incubus. I do not claim ownership of this song. nor this whole album was ass. It was just not very good.
Yep.
I'm not very high on the song, but I'm also like I don't have any, like I said before we listened to this is one of the only songs I hadn't heard. I actually don't think I had only heard like one Incubus song in my entire life. So like
the 9/11 one?
Probably.
Drive?
Yeah.
Drive is the 9/11 song.
Yes. I thought this was fine, but also I could tell this is like isn't what they normally do, and so I understand like from a fan perspective why this would be like this being as big of a hit as it was. I'm sure was very annoying.
I remember my main association with like Incubus is one Drive and Stained were the soundtracks to 9/11, which is very weird, but it's true.
It's been a while.
And then I remember the
It's been a while.
Incubus. It's been a while.
I'm not doing it.
Well, like, because Brandon Boyd is kind of like a Kirkland Kiedis, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
I see it.
Yeah. But I do remember that Drive was like their huge hit, and in high school, I was like, oh, I'm so excited for the new Incubus single because I was a fucking idiot. And Megalomaniac came out, and every single person I knew was so mad and they hated Megalomaniac so much, which is really funny to think about now, because Drive is really not their thing, and it was just like the thing that blew up because the towers fell, and then Gerard Way started a band.
Well, I mean, Incubus has made a lot of softer music too, but I just think they did it like way better elsewhere than they did it on this album, both before and after.
Yeah. This song is doo-doo. I do not like this song at all. I think like we start this this series off with Drive in our first episode. And that's a great song, and then there was Megalomaniac, which was just like, oh, is this about like George Bush? And it turns out it's about Marilyn Manson. Which at first you're like, oh,
I kind of respect that. I respect that.
Which at first I was like, oh, that's stupid, but then of course now it's like, oh no, I respect that. That's actually pretty good to talk about that, because Marilyn Manson is a fucking asshole monster. But there ain't no excuses for this one. There ain't no excuses for this one. This is just not good. Although I want to read a quick thing from the Wikipedia page.
Oh God!
If you didn't know, the song's title is a play on the word anomaly. And a Billboard article says the song describes a woman who may or may not exist in real life. Citation needed.
Danny, California.
Man. It's Danny, California.
Yeah.
This is their Danny.
Oh my God. And then
Kirkland Brand Danny.
I don't like the Brandon Boyd Kiedis comparison, but I will give you that this is Incubus's Danny, California, and honestly, this is a worse song.
Oh, absolutely.
This sounds like Fugazi, like musically. If you took two guys shouting over this and like made it like super lo-fi and like leaked it, there would be some guy named like at Joe Oi who's like, oh, new Fugazi shit. It's just, but like it's so, I don't know. Like I can't get a grasp on this band based on what we've heard so far.
So generic.
Yeah, like
it's a really generic song.
Like every Incubus song that I've heard so far just sounds like a different. Like each one sounds like a different band, and I just always look at it and it says Incubus, and I'm like, what? Like, what is this?
They've shifted through a lot of styles, okay?
Yeah, they certainly have. I don't know if I like any of them.
One of my favorite like associations with Incubus is that this super Christian kid in my high school named Spencer called everyone who listened to that song post 9/11 sinners, because an incubus is a demon.
Whoa, that's badass.
His dad was a preacher who like passed out chick tracts on Halloween.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Oh. I'm sure he like has a shitty marriage or two under his belt at this point. Yeah. But I think about Spencer just being like, you all you like the female demon, you need to go back to church at my dad's church. And it's thank you Spencer.
Yeah. So
thank you, Spencer.
So far the list of demons that we've discovered via the Barker ones, of course Incubus now, and then before that there was fucking Dave Navarro of Jane's Addiction, who's Gavin Mom thinks is a demon.
Oh yeah,
because of his eyebrow.
No Navarro era Chili Peps on these lists, eh?
I mean, there was only a short period in the 90s.
Yeah, it was one album.
I went to an art exhibit once that was all entirely based around the time an artist was at Pinkberry and saw Dave Navarro.
That is amazing.
Dave Navarro he's popped up in some weird.
Dave Navarro belongs in malls. That's just how he subsists.
She fished his Pinkberry cup out of the garbage, and she decided to recreate his house from cribs using only props that she found in the dumpster. And it was like a really weirdly compelling art installation.
Oh my God.
And like she has Dave Navarro into like, do you want to come? And she like printed out and framed his tweet replying to her, or no, it was an Instagram message replying to her of, I'll see if I'm not busy.
Oh my God.
Which is actually super cool.
That kind of rules.
We should do an episode on Butt Rock MTV Cribs episodes.
Oh my God. Oh God.
I always think about the guy from Papa Roach specifically saying like that he had a seat in his shower so he could fuck his lady in there. I think about it all the time. He was like, "Oh yeah," and we have like a little seat here, and he looked at the camera and he was like, "It's for fucking my lady," and then just kept going. He did a little like motion with his elbows and his crotch, and you know how like MTV Cribs would always do like the slow-mo like repan over the fridge or whatever. They did the slow-mo like repan of him like imitating fucking his I don't know if it's his girlfriend or his wife, his lady in the shower, and I think about it so much. God. I miss MTV Cribs.
I miss it too. But to tie this Dave Navarro thing to the last episode, I mentioned, of course, the classic YouTube video "Shoes" by Kelly, I believe Dave Navarro is either in the Shoes video or in the "Let Me Borrow That Top" video for like a second. He plays like a tattoo artist for like a second in that video. I don't know how he got in, but he's in there somewhere. It's amazing.
That makes me think that there was a moment in this timeline where Dave Navarro watched Shoes and was like, "This is my fucking shit."
Oh God. Okay, we need to move on. We need to move on. But we're moving on to a band that again.
Can I read one more thing about Dave Navarro because I just went to his wiki?
Yes, please. Please go ahead.
Politics. Navarro was a performer at the Republican National Convention in 2012 in which Mitt Romney was nominated for president. 14. In 2016, he described his views in a tweet as libertarian. 15. Navarro has stated he was supporting Marianne Williamson as a candidate for the 2010 Democratic presidential primary in 17. He subsequently expressed support for Tulsi Gabbard, including having her on his show. 1819.
Oh my God!
Are any of us surprised?
Just when I thought he was losing me.
No, that
just when I thought he was losing me, he brings me back in.
Marianne Williamson just is the Dave Navarro candidate in my brain. They're like the same. Marianne Williamson is political Dave Navarro.
Dave Navarro has orb energy for sure.
I don't know who that's an insult to, because like Marianne Williamson like kind of fully rocks to me.
She rules.
And like Dave Navarro is like so lame that he's cool.
Yes.
I think that tracked.
But like Marianne Williamson, like her Twitter game at this point is just like so fucking good.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right.
Because she doesn't.
I did not give her the credit she deserves.
She's also really hot. She's really hot.
Yes. There's also the iconic piece of media that will live forever, which is the Twitter video where someone put the Twin Peaks music under her speech that she gave at the Democratic debate, which is like, it makes me like crack up laughing, but also get emotional every time I watch it. It's so funny.
I thought you were gonna say the Liv Moss mentality.
Yes,
we talked about that.
We have already brought this up more than once on the podcast.
It's a really good name,
but it is just such a central piece of butt rock lore. It's so important.
Okay,
of course he dated Sasha Grey. Of course he did. That's cool.
Way to go.
Okay, we need to move on. We need to move on.
It's time to talk about the grand unseater of Headstrong by Trapt.
Wow.
The ultimate number one butt rock song.
Wait, no. We're skipping over one.
I don't know.
You're skipping over one.
Wait, what?
You missed Snow again. If you're getting ready to go into
God! I did not take any notes on Snow by Heyo. It just isn't in there.
By Heyo is really funny.
Snow by Heyo.
Oh, you guys are just skipping Trapt?
We talked about Trapt on a previous episode. We've already discussed Trapt in depth.
Wait, was there another Trapt single?
No. They are one-hit wonder. They are a pure one-hit wonder. They are known for one song and one song only.
Yeah. And it's somehow the biggest song of the decade.
Yes.
On the modern rock chart, at least.
What are our feelings on No Hey-O by the Red Hot Chili Peppers?
I like it.
I think this is my worst take on the episode, which is that I love this song.
Good song.
I like going back to what we said earlier. Like this is the absolute peak of Anthony Kiedis nonsense, but he also manages to, like, the vocal performance is a lot more restrained than he normally is. Like, he's not like letting it fly here, even though his rap singing between the Snow Hey-Ohs is complete nonsense, and the Snow Hey-Oh is also complete nonsense. But like, I like the John Frusciante guitar bit.
Yeah,
I like the way it progresses. I think it's like not a bad song at all musically. I think that he doesn't tank the song with his vocals, basically, is my thesis on it.
Okay. I know I said earlier that the Chili Peppers have one song, but I actually think that they do have two songs, and the second song is Hey-O and like the Zephyr song. Like, that is their second version of like the songs that they have.
Well, the crazy thing about Stadium Arcadium is that, like, those are the two big songs from Stadium Arcadium, and those are the first two songs on Stadium Arcadium. And Stadium Arcadium is a 2-disc, 29-track album. And I've said this before. I genuinely believe this. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is a real thing that I believe. I don't think anyone has heard the end of that album. I don't believe that the band members I think anyone.
All right.
I know that it says that tens of millions of people have listened to some of the tracks on disc 2 toward the end of Stadium Arcadium, but I think if you go there just isn't actual songs there, and no one's gone to check. Like, it's just never happened.
I'll go ahead and say that I've never made it to the end of this album. All right. Who else?
I have not.
I have never listened.
These are the only two songs that I've heard from this album.
All
probably.
Right. So
the first two.
So of our sample size, this is correct.
I like this song a lot, but also, like, the thing about Red Hot Chili Peppers is just, like, being from California, this is just something that you are unfortunately immersed in culturally, and even though a lot of it I don't enjoy anymore, it's just, like, in the water. Like to get your driver's license in California, you have to, like, recite all of the lyrics to Under the Bridge. Like, they're just unfortunately part of our culture, and this song is one of the least objectionable Red Hot Chili Pepper songs to me. I think it is very fun and nice, and I used to listen to it all the time in, like, the 7th grade.
This song is it's like I said, it's Anthony Kiedis being restrained. You have a cool Frusciante guitar part, Flea's doing his thing, and you know, it's the bar that Red Hot Chili Peppers have to clear is not being annoying. If they clear that bar, they're generally okay.
Yeah, I'll go with that. I don't feel much about the song either way, but they don't want you to feel much about the song.
It's a fine song. I have not much to say, but we have to. We're it's pain.
No. I have one more Red Hot Chili Peppers.
We need to address the Will for Thrill post.
Oh god. Okay, please go ahead, Rachel.
Red Hot Chili Peppers thing today. Have you guys ever seen the music video of theirs for Around the World where Anthony Kiedis finger blasts the light ghost?
What?
I'm just gonna ignore that entirely. I'm just gonna ignore that.
I can't acknowledge those words. I can't process them, and I'm not going to try.
Finger blasts the light ghost and then goes down on her later in the video.
I'm gonna block that out of my memory.
I will give you the timestamps for the video later.
No.
No.
It's on YouTube.
That's okay.
I don't want to.
Anyway,
that's really quite alright.
Now that I have brought y'all pain.
Pain.
Oh
god. We already
covered 3 days grace.
we don't need to say much here because I think this is the exact same thing with the other one where this is just although I think this is worse than Animal I've Become. I think it is extreme. It is one of the most prominent examples of what we've talked about, which is butt rock voice. Like the vocal intonations on the song are just upsetting. It's just not. It's bad song. One of the worst on the list. I don't have much.
Possibly the worst lyrics on the whole list. I think
this song's
like
awful.
like the thing with this era is that like a lot of these they're just grossly misogynistic, but it really is just every once in a while it is crazy just to see that so explicitly stated in this song of just like, oh wow, this dude, he's got really major problems with women. Like this is really uncomfortable.
This dude just full ass hates women.
Oh god, the video is not as entertaining as the Animal I Become video, but there's still a lot of really funny stuff. First off, pain. Pain. It is also crazy. The guitarist literally he knows one guitar tone. That's it. Literally, it's the same guitar tone every single song.
It's called Loud.
The video.
All the people in the video, there's like basically the song intercuts between like multiple people singing the song, and then the end is like they all have the same like shitty X neck tattoo, which is just very funny. But no, this song is garbage.
Logo for 3 Days Grace.
Yes. This song is garbage. It's terrible. Almost everything we said about Animal I Become, you could pretty much apply to this song too. It is one of the worst songs that we have talked about on this list so far. The thing that this list made me very sad is that, of course, much like Jackson, I also loved 3 Days Grace as a kid, and it was just very like the thing with this list is that it's very fun. Like nostalgia, I think you stated earlier, nostalgia is very powerful, Rachel. It's a very powerful thing.
Oh yeah,
and I think the best songs on this list, they do have to cross like that bar where it's like, obviously, like nostalgia is going to help you reach, it's going to be a nice little stepping stool to, to the song being good. It can help clear the bar. Yeah. But nostalgia, even with nostalgia, this does not clear the bar of good. Far from it. If anything, it's like I was standing on the stepping stool, and then you knocked it out very violently, and I fell and I broke my tailbone. And I screamed, pain, without love, pain. I can't get enough, pain. This is bad. It's so bad.
Did you know that he likes it rough?
He likes it rough.
Because he'd rather feel pain than nothing at all.
I did not know that. That's crazy. That's crazy, dude.
Deep.
That's crazy.
That's deep.
Yeah, this song's fucking. I think I say this every week, but I think this is the worst song on the entire fucking like this.
We have not gotten to my personal worst song yet on this list.
I know everyone's gonna shit on the 30 Seconds to Mars song. I know that's coming. But this song was so fucking bad that I was listening to that song and going, thank God I'm not listening to Pain by 3 Days Grace.
I feel, are we just moving on to 30 Seconds to Mars?
Yeah, let's just move on. 30 Seconds to Mars from yesterday.
Yeah.
So I genuinely feel like feel like nothing about the 3 Days Grace songs, but like 30 Seconds to Mars, I feel like active anger and hate. Which oh
god, yeah, I agree.
I agree. think it is the actual worst song. I think this is the actual worst song on this list, and it's because like there's some pretty generic shit on here, but like you cannot argue that you don't know you're listening to a 3 Days Grace song when you hear either of the songs on these. There is no personality. There is nothing in the entirety of this 30 Seconds to Mars song that has you point out that it's anything notable. It is the most generic, feed me the slop from my trow, oh master ass bullshit there is fucking possibly is. Like, we can argue about every single song on here for hours of whether or not it's good, but like there is a distinct personality to each and every one of these songs. Whether or not the personality is I hate women is beside the point. 3 Days Grace, but this is just a nothing. This is like Domino's without the weird salt. This is like a hot dog without a fucking bun. It is just such generic awful slop that I had to, because I listened to this entire playlist 4 times today to make sure I really had my takes honed, and I had to like sit and like force myself because I automatically would just whip my phone out and be like, ugh, no, give me the Linkin Park. Like, it is, I hate it so fucking passionately. I'm done. I'm sorry.
I kind of like this song.
Me and Alex we are holding hands. I listen to Pain, and it skeeved me out so much. That song, it was just so disgusting. And I agree that 30 Seconds to Mars are just nothing of a band. Like what if
you didn't like the Black Parade and you like this?
I don't. Let me be clear. I don't like this. I just had to endure the song "Pain" by 3 Days Grace multiple times, and immediately afterwards, I heard this song. So you could have put "Old MacDonald Had a Farm" after "Pain" by 3 Days Grace.
I went back to "Pain" instead of hearing this because I hate this song.
I can't fundamentally agree on that. If that 3 Days Grace has a distinct thing, I think they sound exactly like
the distinct thing is misogyny.
Yeah, but Seether and fucking so many other bands like that also just reeked of what 3 Days Grace were given.
Yeah.
But that song in particular just feels like I'm crawling on a motel floor, whereas this one feels like I'm standing in a white room with a white floor and a white ceiling, and there's nothing else in it. And I think I would rather stand in a white room than crawl around on a motel floor. And
I found $10 on a motel floor once. Okay.
Look, I'm sure we all have a shiv for Jared Leto.
Yes.
Oh God.
But
I think
he kind of has a good voice.
I actually strongly agree with that. I kind of want to fight you. My take on the song is somewhere in between. I hated this song, but I also understood. Like, it's like I think it was it Alphonse who did the Khalid review where it was like it's hard to be mad at air conditioning because it's like inherently with it is that it's like completely like sanitized or whatever. But I think this is like a poorly constructed and like there's the build up to the chorus. Like the chorus is this like big anthemic, like it was supposed to be like cathartic, like yelling whatever, and especially compared to the song that comes after on the list, like it's just so like it just meanders for the first 30 seconds and it's like, all right, chorus time, I'm yelling now. And I hate Jared Leto yelling so fucking much. It's like it's a much worse Dave Grohl, and I can't stand it at all. Get it out of my face.
I cannot believe y'all. I can't believe you guys think this song.
I haven't even said what I think of this song.
God.
No. I don't like the song. It's not very good. I think it's a terrible song. It's not the worst on the list, but I think it's very terrible because there's literally only one good 30 I was going to say 30 Days from Mars, but is it 30 Days from Mars? What the fuck is this? 30 Seconds.
This is what I mean. It's so generic. You don't even know the name of the band.
I agree. There's literally only one good 30 Seconds to Mars song, and it's called The Kill. That's their only good song. That's it. And it's really only because I watched the video as a kid, and I never watched the Stanley Kubrick movie, so I didn't really have any idea what they're referencing, and I was just like, damn, this is like kind of cool and edgy. Like, actually, I'm not going to reveal my age when I watch this video. Rachel, I want you to guess the average age of everybody else on this podcast right now. How old do you think we all are collectively on average?
25.
That's pretty close.
I don't think any of us are 25. I'm almost 25. I turned 25 very soon. You
said average.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So I'm 23. I think Jackson, you're 23 also.
Yes.
Gavin, 24.
25. I'm
25. And then Alex.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so close. Only 1 year off. Only 1 year off. Okay.
24.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not too bad. But yeah, no, this song is garbage. I also watched the music video. I really wanted to watch before this podcast. I didn't have time. It's not from this album. I think it's from the album after or the one after that one. It is an amazing music video. I don't remember the song. I'll post it on our Twitter once this episode goes up, because I think it's the greatest bad music video of all time. I watched it like 2 years ago and I was fucking dying. Anyways,
I think the one thing we do need to bring up about 30 Seconds to Mars before we move on from them forever is, of course, the thing that it lingers around in the back of my brain forever, the awful album covers for their 2018
oh my
album,
god
America. Which, for those of you, if you're not familiar at home with the most recent 30 Seconds to Mars album, he did like a knockoff Life is Pablo cover where there were like 20 different versions of the cover, and every single one of them has like 5 things that are maybe related to America, but maybe also just like it's the most fake deep shit if you've ever seen in your entire life.
That's Jared Leto's whole thing.
Jared Leto is a human galaxy brain.
Yeah, the story that in quarantine when the pandemic hit, he was at like a meditation retreat and didn't find out until 2 weeks later, and because he didn't have a phone there. That was just like that's what Jared Leto was doing when the pandemic broke out. Like
the thing that's so funny about God, I already forgot what I was going to say. Remember Guyliner? Guyliner, that was cool.
The America covers, Matty. The
fucking... okay. I remember. Okay, I remember. Sorry. Like I said, talking about this band, like literally, I want to wipe my memory as soon as I'm done talking about this band. I want to turn my brain off because this band bores me shit. But like literally, that America cover. If the 1975 did the same thing, music journalists would be flipping their fucking shit if they did that.
I don't know if I've ever actively heard a 1975 song.
That's
fine. They're in a weird spot. They're in a weird spot where they haven't really broke through in America. Like they're playing like before the pandemic, of course, they were playing like decent venues in America, but like they don't really get played very often on the radio. Maybe some college stations.
Likes them.
Yeah, it's like they have fans in high places, and they're like they're huge in the UK, but in the US, it's like. Yeah, they're playing like decently sized venues, but like, are you gonna hear them on the radio? It's like a bit of a fat chance, you know. So I don't know. Anyways, the 1975, they're basically 30 Seconds to Mars. They're the same band to me.
I feel like you're kind of looking to piss some people off with that. I don't
understand that
a little bit.
All.
Although here's the 1975, they're a band that pisses me off because they could be a good band because they have great songs. Two Time. That's a great song. There's a ton of really great songs on their second album, but the issue is that they're a band that is too big for their fucking britches. They want to be Radiohead when they could just be Duran Duran. They could just be a more poppy Depeche Mode even. But no, they want to be Radiohead, and Matty Healy is a fucking dumbass. He's a very dumb human being. I feel like calling him a himbo is being too nice to him. He's just very, very dumb, and I wish he would understand that. And I wish his band members would tell him that he's very, very dumb. And I wish music critics and journalists would push back on him and tell him, you are very, very dumb. But no, because the cycle must repeat itself, and I must be a moderator on Indie Heads and see 1975 headlines all the fucking time where Matty Healy reveals himself to be a huge fucking dumbass and an embarrassment to Matty's everywhere.
Oh, now we've cracked the case.
Yes, exactly.
The take that the 1975 and 30 Seconds to Mars are the same band is wrong, but I will give you that Matty Healy and Jared Leto are the same frontman.
Yes. I
am still utterly floored that you hate this more than Pain by 3 Days Grace. Pain is like poison to my ears. Yes. Like. And when I listen to that vocalist too, you can like tell that he isn't actually bad. He's just choosing to do it this way. He is bad as a like stylistic and aesthetic choice. And I just don't get that from 30 Seconds to Mars from yesterday.
I feel nothing. Except rage. He just pisses me off so bad. Like so bad.
Yes. And also the fact that Jared Leto allegedly is probably a sex rape and or pedophile. Allegedly.
Oh.
There's if you dig, there's some stuff. He's at the
I used to read groupie forums. Like, Jared Leto is a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Oh, that's no good.
Yeah, he's a pretty bad guy.
Like, we had no reason to not suspect this. Like, every single Jared Leto headline suggests that this is true.
Actually, I gave you all the clues, Mr. Policeman. It's like
find me. I'm the kid fucker. Yeah.
Oh God. Okay. I wanna pose a question to everybody, and I think there's many ways where we can figure out the generational divide between like who is a millennial and who is Gen Z. When you first heard of Jared Leto, did you hear of him first because of 30 Seconds to Mars or because of his acting career?
I think that's good, but I think it's the real one is just like, do you remember 9/11? That's what I think. That's really
that's the obvious one. That's the obvious one, but this is like a fun one.
I think that's a skewed question, I guess the thing about that, he's the Joker.
He's the Joker.
This is like where you first heard of Jared Leto. This is not like what you think of Jared Leto right now. Of course, Jared Leto right now, of course, to me is the Joker, baby. He's the Joker.
The Joker, baby.
I'm the Joker, baby.
I heard of him as an actor because I'm an old fart.
Yes, exactly.
I think this is a flawed question because I heard of 30 Seconds to Mars 5 years before I heard of Jared Leto's acting career. However, I didn't know who Jared Leto is. I didn't like go on their Wikipedia page and see, oh, Jared Leto, that's the front man. So I was well familiar with 30 Seconds to Mars. And then also there was a long period of time where I knew about 30 Seconds to Mars and I knew about Jared Leto as an actor, but I didn't know that Jared Leto, the actor, was the frontman of 30 Seconds to Mars. And when I found that out, that was an utter brain blast moment.
Oh boy. Okay.
The only time I've liked Jared Leto is when he saw that green coat on a like fashion runway and immediately wore it on a red carpet.
Yeah. That's the only good thing he's ever done.
Also, he dies pretty horribly in a couple movies for a little while there, and that's kind of fun. But he won his Oscar on trans misogyny, which is bullshit.
Absolutely agreed. Shitty guy.
Yeah.
Fuck Jared Leto.
Like I said, we all have a shiv saved especially for Mr. Leto.
Boy. Let's move on to the final song of today's episode. We're skipping over a Nine Inch Nails song because there's nothing to say about Nine Inch Nails. There really is nothing. This is the With Teeth era. It's like
which song?
Like at Survivalism.
Oh, that one number 1?
Yeah.
Weird.
Like 1 week.
That's the case with every Nine Inch Nails song. It's like it's simultaneously like it's weird that he gets these big number 1 singles, but it's also not like experimental enough for it to just be like a complete like he exists in this weird gray space where he does not make any sense on the list, but also is just like I don't know. You guys have talked enough about.
We talked about 3 Nine Inch Nails songs on the last episode.
Yeah, please help. System of a Down is aesthetically much weirder than Nine Inch Nails.
I would agree.
And I've got nothing against Trent Reznor. Again, I like I said, I like Only is a great song. It's one of my favorite songs that we talked about so far on these episodes. But I have nothing more to say. Like literally, like awful the last song we were talking about other songs because we didn't want to talk about Nine Inch Nails. We had to talk about Beverly Hills again because Beverly Hills. That's where I wanna be.
Gimme.
Anyways.
Gimme.
Anyways.
We at least get to end on a good note, I think.
This is true. Linkin Park, What I've Done, number 1 on April 21st, 2007 for 15 weeks and was the number 1 song of 2007 on the Modern Rock charts. This song is fucking good. It slaps. It is one of my favorite Linkin Park songs. and it makes me very emotional. And I think it also, once again, does highlight the continued maturity and growth of Linkin Park at this time, and of Chester as a vocalist and as the band as a whole, not relying, at this point, the new metal scene has completely it's not dead, mind you, but basically like most of the big bands are struggling at this point in terms of charting, and basically all the like rip off bands have died off at this point. But
I mean, that being said, like 3 Days Grace had 2 songs on this list.
3 Days Grace is not new metal. They're butt rock.
Are on the last episode of this list.
Yeah, it's butt rock, but like we're not seeing POD anymore.
Yeah,
okay.
We're past new metal.
That's true.
Like new metal.
That's true.
Like new metal and butt rock, they're basically like they're a Venn diagram that's like very close together. But there's still a little separate. There's a teeny bit of separation between them, and at this point, new metal is.
What's it called? Like some rectangles are squares, but not all squares are rectangles or whatever. It's that kind of thing.
Exactly.
With new metal and
yeah,
exactly. But no, this song is fucking great. I don't have like much to say. It is a genuinely great song. It's one of my favorite Linkin Park tracks, and probably one of the first videos that I watched on YouTube back in the day.
Chester fucking rocked.
I love this song a lot. I think it's one of the best songs on the list this week, and I've explained this in the chat. But my only issue with this song, and the only thing that prevents this from being like maybe the best song on the list, is that for whatever reason in my broken brain from my youth, I cannot listen to this song without thinking of the Michael Bay Transformers movie and how this song is played in the final scene of the Michael Bay Transformers movie, in which Optimus Prime is giving a monologue about the human race while Shia LaBeouf and Megan Fox make out on top of Bumblebee, their friend. And it is a very weird, but I think it also speaks to like the Linkin Park thing in general. It's like we talked about how a lot of this music is like music for guys to have feelings to, where they don't feel like a pussy or whatever. And like I think that the thing about Linkin Park that was so great is that like they were able to, in these kind of whatever new metal packages, smuggle in like genuine emotional vulnerability and like good songwriting. And I mean, like everyone's talked about how a lot of the Linkin Park songs are like a lot tougher to swallow. Like no, like now what's happened, like all of them kind of they play in a slightly different light, and obviously, and like I think that this song is one of their better like big singles. Like the way it builds to the chorus is just so fucking good. The guitars are so good, and I really think this song is one of my favorite of the big Linkin Park singles. It slaps so hard.
I love the ticking clock motif in the production too. The sort of like kind of tick tock you kind of hear. I think it's a great musical motif, and just shows again like these guys, they know what the fuck they're doing. They're not just playing the single tone they know on the guitar. They're very skilled at what they do. Like they're very good.
Yeah, I went back and revisited like the first huge Linkin Park album a couple years ago, and it's like the Korn thing where I was like, I was embarrassed of this, but this is actually like really solid. Like it's got some embarrassing accoutrements of like the 2001 era, but like for what it is and for what they were trying to make, like it's a solid album.
Oh yeah.
Hybrid Theory is much more of its time. I think Meteora is really like, I think that's their best record. I think that's the one where it's like it's like it's kind of its time, but they're at like, whereas Hybrid Theory, they're only like somewhat above their peers. By the time they have Meteora, they're very much above their peers at that point.
Hybrid Theory's got some heaters though.
This isn't to say Hybrid Theory is not a good album.
Yeah.
I love yawning out. Hybrid Theory's got some heaters. That's a really good bit.
Listen, it's 10:20. We've been doing this podcast for almost 2 hours. I've been thinking about butt rock for like 8 hours now. I had to listen to Pain by 3 Days Grace 4 times today.
Yeah, that'll do it to you.
Yeah.
So I've been quite mean to Linkin Park throughout this series. They they're kind of like My Chemical Romance, and that I get it, y'all. It's just not for me. But there's no denying it, folks. This one's a slapper. This one's the best song on the list.
What?
On this week's list, this is easily the best song on it. But that's
oh my god,
this one's good. Way to go, Chester and the fellas.
Aww. I think all we had to do to get Gavin into Linkin Park was to get Optimus Prime and the boys involved.
Yeah, you guys Shia.
Now that we've gone a little more.
Yeah, I just needed Shia and the gang, and I'm all in. Yeah, this is a very well made rock song, and it's that chorus is very good, and it's built up to perfectly. So no complaints from me here on this one. And
I should
also every other song on this list is
with Jay-Z and see how much I hate
it. I'm sure some of it hasn't aged well, but Numb Encore still fucking rocks.
That song is phenomenal.
The iconic opening of Miami Vice, where the movie starts without any intro or like preamble. It just starts in the middle of a club scene where Numb Encore is playing, and it's like maybe the best moment in the history of cinema. It's pretty fucking great.
Oh boy, I
can't agree with that statement.
What's the greatest moment in cinema, Gavin?
The scene in Jackass where Dave England takes a shit in a dollhouse and then Lance Bang throws up.
It's not a dollhouse. It is a hardware store in Portland, Oregon. When I was in Portland 6 years ago, I was with the person I was dating, and I made him take me to the hardware store where Dave England took a shit and Lance Bangs threw up because
the thing is that there's multiple like skits of Dave England taking a shit in the Jackass movies.
That was Jackass 1. My apologies. I think he shits in the dollhouse in Jackass 2.
No, it's 3D. It's 3D. I think it's 3D.
3D is when he does the volcano.
Okay, yeah.
Yes. One of my favorite small details of when they show Lance throwing up in the first one is that they say Lance Bangs, and then parentheses they just say vegan. Just like insanely funny.
That's so good.
No, because he doesn't throw up. Because he takes a laxative and he shits himself in the van on the way.
Oh
yes,
God.
Yes,
okay.
That is what happens.
Yes. I should say I've been fully getting into the butt rock mindset, and that like I watched Jackass 1 and 2 this weekend while I was in Ohio.
They
are all genuine. They are all genuine 5-star movies. They're all like 1 through 3. They're genuine 5-star movies. They're all amazing and hilarious. And there's some stuff that doesn't hold up per se, but like for the most part, they're all like insanely hilarious movies, and I love them so much.
Truly, sincerely, like no galaxy brain believe this. I think they eventually and should be in like the halls of comedy in the way that the Marx Brothers are.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, like they're so good. If you want to guess how old I am, the Jackass movie was my first date.
Oh no!
Wow,
that rules.
That is
I'm
awesome.
simultaneously like, oh no, but like, oh, that rules.
Oh yeah, like that guy and I are still friends. I was at his wedding. He had.
Oh, it's him.
Wait, which one?
You've talked about this on Wrestlesplania a couple of times. The your first like boyfriend that you're still friends with.
Yeah, like he and I, like I went to his wedding. He has a baby now, but it was my first date, and we went to go see the Jackass movie. But also, one of my favorite other things is that I'd already seen it, and my dad was like, I want to see this movie, and I don't have anybody else to go with other than my rowdy teenage daughter. So I saw it with my dad in theaters as well, without thinking about like what a vastly inappropriate movie that is to watch with your father. And then, so the final sketch in that movie, if anybody needs a memory refresher, is Ryan Dunn sticking the toy car in his ass.
Oh my God.
And like, it's an uncomfortable sketch, and the joke of it is that it's uncomfortable. And like now knowing what I know is that the joke is like Japan's conservatism towards like homosexuality, and the doctor being like, you don't tell anyone about this is so funny.
I don't think that was in Japan. I don't think they did that one in Japan. I think that one was just like in the US. I think that's just in California.
Oh my God, that's even funnier. But
Yes.
like either way, my dad and I watched his sketch, and like I'm 15 years old, and like the credits roll, and I was like, "What did you think?" And he was like, "Sweetie, I got no problem with it, but it was a little fucking gay."
Okay, that leads into one of my favorite Letterboxd reviews of all time from my friend Christy for Jackass 3.5, which is just this one sentence. You construct intricate rituals which allow you to touch the skin of other men.
That's exactly what it is. Oh man, Jackass is R.I.P. Ryan Dunn.
R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Rest in peace.
Should have been Bam.
Ryan Dunn, rest in peace.
Oh God. Okay, that's it. That's it. We're done.
Nothing else about Linkin Park?
Nothing else about Linkin Park. I think I am done. Is anyone
good band?
Good band.
90% something, 30% skill. I don't remember the lyrics.
Yeah, that's
40% concentrated power and will. 5% pleasure, 50% pain, and 100% reason to remember the name.
That was not Linkin Park.
That's Fort Minor, which is Mike Shinoda's side project.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know that he was associated with that song for some reason.
It's him.
Yeah, I love the stupidity of that song. It's like
it's one of the greatest like bro anthems of all time.
It's beautiful. And
Mike Shinoda is very talented, though.
Mike Shinoda raps how the John Cena rapper character thinks he raps.
Yes. Oh my God. Wow.
Oh God.
I never thought of that until right now, and I am completely correct.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. I think that's a great insight to end the podcast on. I think that'll do it for this week's episode of the Butt Rock number ones. Thank you, Rachel, so much for joining us. Thank you for just fully buying into the unhinged energy that that is coursing through our veins.
I feel like
talking about these songs.
Is that
what?
I feel like that's why you asked me on, is that I buy into the bullshit energy.
Oh yeah. And I think like butt rock and pro wrestling are just intrinsically tied together.
Oh yeah. I mean,
how many backyard wrestlers do you think came out to the song "Pain" by 3 Days Grace?
Too many to count.
Yes.
That's a really good. I think if they were doing their first death match, but I did take note of how many of these songs on each of their Wikipedia pages were included on like a WWE soundtrack. It was a lot of them.
I'm just thinking of a backyard wrestling match or something where like the first guy comes out to Pain by 3 Days Grace and the other guy backstage is like, shit, that's my music too. What the fuck?
Cue up Animal I've Become.
I talked to Tracy Williams about that once. I asked him how, like, have you ever been at a show where like people had the same entrance music? And he was like, it didn't happen to me, but every time I watch it happen to somebody else, it's like watching somebody's world fall apart. It's fucking incredible. And I was like, thank you. Shout out to him. I hope he gets to blow up in 2021.
Yes. Shouts out to Hot Sauce Tracy Williams.
Hell yeah. Right. And his perfect dog.
Oh God. Cutest dog ever. One of the cutest dogs ever.
I miss her.
Oh, and also thank you also Jackson for joining us on this episode.
Happy to be on. I'm glad that I had the one episode that was over 2 hours, as is the usual with me on the pod.
I feel like that's my fault though. So
I think with Jackson, it's just the presence. It's just it doesn't matter. It's just the presence of Jackson.
I just enable bullshit. It's what happens.
Oh God. But again, hopefully you all enjoyed this episode. Sorry it's so long, but hey, we are reaching the end of we're coming towards the end of the show. But we do have as we announced on our Twitter, we are taking a breather next week. We're still gonna bring you an episode of the Butt Rock number ones, but we're taking a breather from the charts, and it's just gonna be me, Alex, and Gavin, and then a special guest to talk about the songs that should have been number one. So that'll be a fun episode. And then, of course, episode 7 and 8, the final 2 episodes, and then an epilogue of sorts talking about the culture of butt rock and, you know, all of its beautiful thing that it encompasses. And but once again, thank you, Rachel, so much for joining us. Thank you, Jackson, for joining us. Of course, we were so glad to have you. Is there anything you want to plug before we sign off?
If you were listening to this and you like podcasts about wrestling, holy shit, boy, do I have the fucking thing for you. I have Wrestlesplania, a podcast where I explore the wacky, wonderful world of professional wrestling. We have public episodes. We have Patreon episodes. We have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Discord community, which is maybe one of the only places that's cool, where it's like a chill place to talk online about wrestling. If you care about gerrymandering reform, I have a documentary I made with my dad about gerrymandering reform in Pennsylvania. It is called Line in the Street. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, you can, but like I don't personally endorse that. Oh, and my Venmo is Rachel-Millman. That's it. I want to plug my Venmo because I don't have a job right now.
Please give Rachel $300.
Please give me $300. I really need it. Rachel-Millman. Thank you.
I would like to plug something else. I would like to plug something that I came across today when I was doing research for this podcast. I would like to plug the film Transformers: The Last Night, in which the Transformers claim to have been involved with the Underground Railroad and claim that Harriet Tubman was one of the members of the Transformers Alliance or whatever. And I just go watch that film. It's a great, great piece of cinema.
Classic. That's truly unhinged to put in a movie, but
yes, Michael Bay, our last great auteur potentially in American cinema.
Is butt rock like butt rock is vulgar auteurism essentially. Like they have a lot in common.
Sure, Jackson, whatever you say. Oh God. Okay, that'll do it.
I get what Jackson's saying.
Oh no, I'm getting it, but we're 2 hours in.
It is time to put this to rest.
Pain.
Thank you for listening.
Pain.
To another episode of the Indie Heads podcast, Butt Rock number 1s. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.